Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. So if you're new or you're a new subscriber, I just wanted to welcome you. I'm not sure how it happened, but my subscriber count went up a fair bit this week. And so if you're new, welcome. This is my shorter week reading or shorter weekly reading that I do with the tarot. And it's a little bit more straightforward than the general reading, but it's still a reading offered to everyone, everywhere. And I also wanted to share my new fun fall sweatshirt, which I actually got this summer. Raven Lunatic. Hee hee. And it's finally cold enough to wear it in Missouri, and it's the perfect time of the year. So I had to wear it and share it. So this week we'll be reading from the Santa Muerte Tarot, because we're coming up to the new moon and Samhain and Halloween and Dia de los Muertos and All Saints Day and all of that good stuff, which is wonderful. It's really one of my favorite times in the whole year. So this week, I've already pulled the Menti Oracle card, and it's the same as last week, interestingly. So we're still working with that energy of intention. And carrying the intention of goodness, the intention that is conscious into the world with us and into our actions, words, etc. So, with that said, let's go ahead and shuffle and pull some cards. My dog's down here licking obsessively right now. It's a lot to listen to. Okay. So we're going to pull 3 cards. And in this reading, if I get jumpers, I do tend to allow the jumpers. So oh, wow. Okay, that was a whole bunch of jumpers. That was a stack of about 10 jumpers. Okay. Okay, I pulled 3 cards, and the reading, I should clarify, is for the week to come, starting Sunday, the 27th of October, and finishing Saturday, the 2nd of November. So the first card that we have is the Empress. And the Empress is very much about creativity and creating what we want in the world. I wanted to read what Fabio Lestrani says about his Empress card, because I think it's really fascinating. There are a lot of fascinating definitions that he has for the cards in the book, and I can hold it up and read it at the same time. How about that? So, so he says about her, each one of these has like the advice, the meaning, and then the advice of the dead. And the advice of the dead is always very interesting. It says, make the most of your experiences and act quickly, avoiding laziness or indecision. It is necessary to plan your actions more rationally in order to let what you desire blossom in your life. So as we move forward, I think this is a wonderful new moon card. So we're getting ready to have a new moon in Libra. And that's happening the 26th or 27th, depending on where you are living in the world and on which hemisphere. And we're going to be feeling that energy for the few days before and after the new moon anyway. So as we approach it, what are we wanting to create in the world? This comes back to our Oracle card, which is from the Amenti Oracle, about doing good, which is always working with intention. She's very specific. Jennifer Sodini, the creator of the Amenti Oracle, in her book about often the difference between good and bad is the intention that's behind what we're doing, right? So what are we wanting to put into place, and what are we wanting to create in the world with this new moon? And how do we do it, right? So the second card we have is the Two of Swords. And I love this Two of Swords in this deck because we're looking again at pausing, right? In a traditional RWS deck, we're looking at two swords that aren't moving, that are holding someone in place. And in this deck, we're looking at scissors that aren't being picked up and used to cut anything yet. So there's a pause that needs to take place in order for us to know what's next, right? What do we need to do next? And then once we've made that decision, what do we want to cut ties with? What do we want to stop doing? What do we maybe want to stop thinking about? So as you're looking at deciding what you want to create and put into the world this week coming, a lot of this is going to have to do with the mind, right? And with intention, because we're looking at a swords card. So swords are always about mind, mental, intention, thought, and so forth before putting something into action, right? Once we're ready to take action, then we'll pick up the scissors and use them to cut. But for now, what is it that we need to change about the way that we're thinking about the world? Okay. And then finally, we have the King of Pentacles. And so the King of Pentacles has his beautiful treasure chest there. And again, I love the advice of the dead, so I'm going to pull that back up as well. His advice of the dead for this particular card. Okay, so he says, oh, wrong way. He says, help someone who needs it and who asks for support as you can. Your reward will arrive in another form, but it will enrich you all the same. So it's taking, it overlaps so beautifully with the reading from the Marigold Tarot from earlier, which is if we take, if we manifest what we desire in the world and it comes from really, really good, honest intention, we'll be able to help others, right? So this is a wonderful way to end our week, moving in with the I do good. So taking the intention that's clear and then knowing that it will bring some form of reward, even if it's not monetary. But it definitely relates to our actions. How do we want to act in the world? How do we want to behave in the world? And is what we're doing something that is ultimately going to be helpful to the people that we care about, or just in general? And finally, I wanted to pull a card from the Oracle of Initiation, which I just got this week. So the Oracle of Initiation is by Melissa Lucia and has the most extraordinary guidebook. I mean, beautiful. So we're going to draw one card from the Oracle of Initiation. It feels right going into Samhain and Dia de los Muertos and All Saints. Wow. Okay, so our card for the week to come is recognition. Wow. So if you can see her eyes, and I'm going to read what's in the book as well, but if you look at this closely, you can see both of her eyes, whoops, very clearly, one of them not so clearly the other. That has such an impact. So I'm going to say, looking at this, and we'll see what's in the book as well, that what we're looking at is the recognition, the clear seeing of what our actions are, what their impact is. What it is that we need to do next and where it is we need to go next. It's also recognizing when we need space, when we need a break, when we need to pause and think about what the next move is. It's recognizing when those kinds of actions become necessary, or inactions, choosing to be overdoing. Let's see what her book says, because now I'm really curious what she says about recognition. She says, as you reclaim the knowing of your interwoven unity, it can be an awesome and humbling experience. As you open to the fact that you are marked by the spirits, called to a life of interconnected devotion, uncertainty becomes a gift because it imbalances you enough to release the old patterns, right? Allowing your true destiny to emerge. You'll begin to recognize the subtle alliances that call you forth into exploring your connections within the web of existence. Claim the imprints of your soul's wisdom, awakening to your divine missions. So it's also recognizing on a deeper level, what your soul is called to do. What are we being called to do as we move forward? What a beautiful message. I knew it would give us something amazing for moving into Halloween and All Saints and Dia de los Muertos. So yeah. So what does our soul need? What are our spirits telling us? How are they helping us align our intention with our actions? Beautiful, beautiful reading. So I wish all of you the most wonderful week. Thank you so much for being here and for coming today, and I will see you again soon. Bye.